A SEGA employee has been caught threatening players of the game Phantasy Star Online. Their misconduct, including frequenting 4chan circles and engaging in exclusive nude mod meetups, had been meticulously documented on YouTube. That is, until December 13, 2023, when all 3 videos covering it were simultaneously struck and removed from the platform. Cyberbolt, the man behind the videos, is a gaming YouTuber who recently has been stalked and threatened off of the website. But how did we get to this point? Well, it all started with his 3-part series that posed the question, is Phantasy Star Online 2 New Genesis a disaster? Phantasy Star Online is an RPG, and it was actually the first RPG to ever appear on a gaming console. It was released in 2000 by SEGA for the Dreamcast, and over time evolved from just a role-playing game to SEGA's very own massive multiplayer online role-playing game. The game, commonly referred to as PSO2 NGS, is the most recent adaptation of this series, and the source of several controversies, like banning over 1,600 accounts in a month, its ties to 4chan, and hosting lewd mod meetups. In an anonymous tip I received, thanks to viewers just like you, there are over 170 pages documenting the concerted effort to remove the game's biggest critic from the internet. But first, a quick shout out to today's sponsor, HelloFresh. If you're anything like me, your diet consists of Hot Pockets, microwave croissants, and your usual midnight snacks. I won't make it to 40. But all hope isn't lost. With the help of America's #1 meal kit, HelloFresh, you can have the convenience of a quick and easy meal while still maintaining a healthy diet. They even have 20-minute recipes. What, you can't spare 20 minutes to cook? I don't know, just throw it all in a bowl and microwave it, you heathen. Bam. 2-minute recipe. No more trips to the fridge, wondering what next concoction is gonna be your dinner. You can have your pick of over 45 chef-crafted recipes planned out and ready to go for the week, with the added bonus of actually learning to cook in the process. That not sweet enough for you, huh? How about free dessert for life? Because when you sign up now, they'll throw in a free dessert with every box. All you have to do is choose your desired diet, how many people and meals you need a week, and the date you want them delivered. Whether it's 30 calories, protein-packed, or vegetarian, you can instantly start making restaurant-quality food from the comfort of your own kitchen. So if you guys want to add some real food to your diet, but don't know where to start, click this link and use code TECHNICALS16FM and receive 16 free meals plus free dessert for life with an active subscription. A sincere thank you to you guys for always helping the channel, and thanks again to HelloFresh for sponsoring this video. In the trilogy, chronicling the myriad of issues revolving around the game, Cyberbolt opens by providing exposition of the game's history before transitioning into a critical breakdown of game mechanics, in-game lore, the community, and general updates, with a hint of JonTron and classic AVGN thrown in for comedic effect.
Yeah, there is jizz in this book.
And after the success of the first video, most would assume that the reception was primarily positive, but it would only go downhill from here. With the release of the second video, Is PSO2 NGS Still a Disaster? On October 4th, 2022, the course of this story would change from just another video essay to an all-out war that span across 4chan, YouTube, and the game itself. Because in this video, Cyberbolt showcased definitive proof that the former community manager and owner of the official Twitter account, Gwiz, was an active poster on 4chan. They would show up to 4chan exclusive meetups with sex mods, posted a screenshot from YouTube that only they could have because it clearly showed the edit video and analytics button, which means that they uploaded the video they're sharing, and would even react within minutes of posts from the thread. This is a DM that Gwiz sent Cyberbolt like 4 minutes after a Virgin versus Chad meme was posted to the 4chan thread. When this first dropped, it was a controversial topic, because Gwiz had adamantly denied ever posting on 4chan for the past decade, and needless to say, given their position, was not very excited at this cameo. However, there's a lot of things that don't add up. In a now deleted tweet, they even established the final date of posting being 2016, which is half of what they previously claimed in 2021. They also posted advertisements for their SoundCloud all the way in 2018, but even more still, directly responded to an impersonator in 2019 with screenshot proof for authenticity. It's important to remember this, because given the anonymous nature of 4chan, knowing who is and isn't an active user can really narrow down the list. And with a game as niche as PSO2 NGS, it's thankfully not a very long one. Beyond the 4chan drama, Cyberbolt highlighted the reaction to his first video from creators and Redditors alike, which was less than positive. Gemmatators, one of the biggest channels in the community, said that it was a dumb video and that creators like him were bad for gaming in general. When he tried to get feedback on Reddit for the sequel, both of his threads got locked, with the highest upvoted comments calling him a liar who justified stream sniping and slandered the community manager. Even on Steam, there were reports of censorship from official channels that posted his video. Ironically, the poster Laguchu was permanently banned from posting in the PSO2 discussion forum by saying that you're not allowed to post Cyberbolt's video or else it'd be censored by SEGA moderators. A reason for the ban is not provided. By the third video, things had really gone to shit. During the making of PSO2 NGS, Forever a Disaster, Cyberbolt had already been banned from the game under the pretense of hacking. When he pressed SEGA for further elaboration, they responded that by providing an official statement, it could possibly breach their terms of service, and so they refused to comment. I'm not exactly sure how that works, but whatever. The first segment of this video is dedicated to responding to hate comments, Discord moderators, false allegations, and an alleged alt account of Gwiz that would religiously defend her on Reddit and his own servers. There were even several YouTube channels created with the sole purpose of harassing Cyberbolt, and a few of which were named from alleged doxes and references to the reason for banning the Hornian account from his server. This account was created the same day the second video dropped and immediately joined every server related to the game and Cyberbolt. Aside from defending Gwiz, this account also changed their name and threatened to dox Cyberbolt. Now this is where things start to get really unhinged. On September 18, 2023, an anonymous poster would begin issuing threats to copyright strike Cyberbolt's channel, which prompted him to take down his videos until 3 days later when he would relist them. This would, unfortunately, inspire a whole new wave of threats that would last for months. I got some advice and will be submitting all three separately so he gets 3 strikes/termination immediately. Sayonara, Cyberbolt. I will destroy Cyberbolt's YouTube channel, 1 copyright strike at a time, Google willing.
Okay, Cyberbolt. I'm done playing with you like a discarded ragdoll. For now. Though we shared a song on the 21st night of September, mark my words. On Phil Spencer's name, there will be a copyright strike on all 3 videos. If you take them down, the Cyber Memes videos come down too. But if you don't, the strike hits when you least expect it. Continue your channel. Be the Cyberbolt your followers know and love. Just when you least expect it, BAM! Android VPN public Wi-Fi and linking back to your very own Odyssey uploads. Or my backups. It's that easy, Charlie Brown. For now, sleep tight. Don't let the bedbugs bite.
These threats would soon materialize into a very real strike on his entire PSO2 NGS series. And because of how YouTube works, fighting the strike would force him to actually dox himself. So despite his previous resolve, he privated all of his videos and simply exited the platform. With all the various threats, it could seem impossible to narrow down who was really behind all this. But let me tell you why I'm almost 100% convinced that the SEGA employee Gwiz is somehow involved. Numero uno. It's been confirmed that Gwiz currently uses 4chan. Between accidentally blowing her cover, posting screenshots, directly engaging with an impersonator, or going to 4chan exclusive sex mod meetups, there's no question about her involvement with the website. Speaking of 4chan, number 2. On January 14, 2024, a few people would begin discussing a tweet from Gwiz that claimed she didn't use the display name Gwiz of the Stars on any online games, including PSO2, after encountering an impersonator on League of Legends. One person would comment at 1:31 p.m., correcting another poster, stating, quote, Gwiz literally said the name he changed to in the last episode of Headline Plus. Also, don't get yourself sued in a Japanese court, Cyberbolt, unquote. Then 23 minutes later, Gwiz would reply to this 4-day-old tweet with a judge emoji and the emails showing that she already applied for the copyright to her brand. This seemed like it was addressing the person claiming they'd seized the rights themselves, jokingly. And up to this point, there's been a lot of coincidences. But this has to be the most blatant proof of not only observing 4chan, but directly responding to it. Point number 3. In an unrelated video game thread, discussion broke out over Cyberbolt's situation, and some even mentioned attempting to get his channel banned through false striking. Immediately following this, someone, clearly fed up, posted an IP logger under the guise of shit-talking Cyberbolt. For obvious reasons, I'm not going to show it uncensored, but it just so happens that the first person who clicked on it, twice even, lives in the exact same city as Gwiz. The odds of this person living in the same city, knowing who Cyberbolt is, using 4chan, and having a reason to click on a link shitting on him.
What slander was there? It's been proven that the community manager has posted on 4chan for years, and still does.
Are absolutely astronomical. Obviously, it could be a coincidence, but unlikely. Number 4. The day Cyberbolt's second video dropped, a Discord account named Hornian was created, and joined every Discord for PSO2 and Cyberbolt. They also joined this fucking off-brand Discord shit called Gilded that he also had, but who cares, it's the same fucking thing. This account would defend Gwiz, and even threaten to dox Cyberbolt after changing their display name. This obviously doesn't confirm that it's an alt account of Gwiz, but it relates to an anonymous message sent on the general video game board, where they admit to being Hornian, say they are the person he's accused them of being, that being Gwiz, and admits to clicking on the IP logger before bringing up doxing attempts of Cyberbolt and mentioning that the safety of his channel is now only one aspect he should be concerned about. At the very least, it has to be someone who was also present in his server, because they mentioned the specific talks about Zelda, which is a confirmed story from Cyberbolt. And last but not least, number 5, which beyond the IP logger, I personally find to be one of the more compelling points. In response to a random player of PSO2 NGS on Facebook regarding their friends being involved in the mass ban of over 1,600 accounts, Gwiz responded to them by saying, "Anyway, I'm gonna stop talking to you, but consider this. There's a line, and once you cross it, there are legal implications. You've not done a great job at hiding your identity online. For someone who apparently is against transphobia, you'd be smart to keep people's identities out of your 4chan drama. And the reason I'm telling you this is because you're gonna get an example made of you if you keep it up. I know you're not 100% on team get Gwiz to redacted, but you're by far the most easy to identify. So I'd tighten up, at least with the personal slander. That's my warning to you personally." She also accuses him of doxing for mentioning her name, but if you look up Gwiz, that information is readily available. She has Alyssa in her public Instagram, but even on the MagWest website for promoting her DJing, from all the way back in September of 2020, you can see her full name promoted in an official statement by the MagWest team. So telling someone, "Keep my name out of it," that's just a warning to you and nobody else for mentioning you by name in drama about Phantasy Star Online 2, as a SEGA employee and a community manager, seems a little unprofessional. However, I do find it interesting that they'd bring up making an example out of someone for being involved in 4chan drama. This one was brought to my attention later as I was working on this video, but Gwiz made a statement on January 11th saying that they were going to be reassessing their social media, and that for 2024, they were retiring their Twitter account because of alleged harassment. I reached out to Gwiz through Gmail on January 27th, and I also added her on January 31st to see if she'd respond to anything to provide further clarity. But if you go on Social Blade, you can see that during this month-long period, she deleted almost 7,000 tweets. So some of the sources in this video are only made possible through using the Wayback Machine. The last available post from her is on December 23rd, which is just promoting her DJing at Anime Los Angeles. I get that they might have deleted everything because of alleged harassment and this statement on January 11th, but then 3 days later makes a direct response to 4chan? I don't know. Doesn't seem like the best idea. From these points, we can deduce a few things. Gwiz has lied about being a 4chaner and consistently engages in the website. She's threatened litigation for being included in 4chan drama, was more than likely the first person to click on an IP logger while viewing or participating in discussions celebrating Cyberbolt's channel being banned, and responded to 4chan by posting a judge emoji and showing a censored copyright application for their brand. Now, of course, all the posts on 4chan are anonymous, and a lot of this is alleged, but at this point, it's hard to not think that Gwiz has something to do with what's going on with Cyberbolt. Cyberbolt's videos exposing her connection to the website garnered hundreds of thousands of views, so it stands to reason that if she doesn't like being involved in 4chan drama, that by having a copyrighted brand, she may even feel justified in striking a video or two. The The strike on Cyberbolt's channel simply links back to the Japanese guideline page for PSO2 NGS, and when translated, there's only 2 relevant sections: Article 12 about intellectual property rights and copyright, and Article 23, which mentions the Tokyo courts having exclusive jurisdiction over disputes. Now let's look at the email associated with the strike: sega.video.official@gmail.com. First off, why the fuck would Sega Japan be using a Gmail? Secondly, I reached out to someone who was actually striked for live reacting to PSO2 content, and he confirmed that the email he was struck by was an official @sega.com extension. That's not surprising, considering that's the exact layout of every other form of contact with Sega, and Nintendo, among other companies, has a similar format. I also researched a previous controversy with Sega striking creators for uploading Shining Force content in 2012, and the associated email was @sega.co.japan. If you didn't know, when you strike someone, you can just re-upload the content yourself, fill out whatever name you like, and use a throwaway email when creating your channel. This is, of course, extremely illegal, and I would heavily advise against it. However, Cyberbolt wasn't the only victim of this. In November, the Yakuza modder Ret would claim that a person pretending to be Sega, under the same Gmail, had returned with their false strikes. Another creator, by the name Zeomantic, received a strike by the same email on a short they made joking about using a VPN to bypass logging into region-locked servers for PSO2. In their strike, it links back yet again to the Japanese guideline page, this time referencing Article 2, Section 8, which outlines that only devices located in Japan could connect to the Japanese servers. What throws me off is that the strike would also be accompanied by an in-game suspension, which is confusing given the circumstances. Either someone at Sega is doing this, and the Gmail is actually an official Sega Japan email, or the timing coincides with reports to Sega, causing the suspension to align with the strikes. Looping this back to Cyberbolt, that would mean it's possible that all the threats on 4chan towards his channel were simply coincidental attempts to scare him into taking down his series. This is what really made me start thinking that maybe they're not false strikes. Maybe it's not an impersonator. Maybe it's actually someone at Sega handing out these strikes. A recent statement from Sega Japan specifically brings up harassment of their employees, insults, defamation, and contacting legal counsel or police if necessary. Remember, Gwiz currently works at Sega, and before moving to a different position, was the community manager for PSO2 NGS. If they wanted to do something like take down an entire video series that harmed their image, and then link back to the official game's guidelines, who knows? They might have even had the company's blessing. All 3 of Cyberbolt's videos were struck at the same time. It's a manual takedown request of 3 videos made years apart from each other. If it were an issue of copyright or content ID, it wouldn't take over 2 years with how relatively viral the videos were. Whoever did this had way more concerns than just intellectual property rights. But given what we know, let's be fair and assume that Gwiz isn't the person going around falsely striking people. Is it really appropriate for her, as a Sega employee, to threaten players over Facebook and actively engage with a group that is promoting false striking? It's not exactly employee of the month behavior. And when you go around telling people you're gonna get an example made out of you, the charitability only extends so far. Somebody struck Cyberbolt's channel. Somebody would benefit from his series going down. And that somebody either works at Sega or is impersonating them. It's not a very extensive list of suspects, but because issuing a counterclaim would require him to provide personal identifying information, Cyberbolt, as a faceless creator, has been forced into a corner, where defending himself may cause even more problems than it's worth, meaning that years of jokes, stories, and an entire community would unfortunately disappear in a matter of weeks. The campaign to defame and deplatform Cyberbolt is a common yet frequently unresolved issue plaguing the platform, and by abusing the DMCA system, anyone with a fake email and disregard for federal statutes can make creating content a living nightmare. With the advent of fair use laws, this has somewhat been mitigated, but for those who value their own anonymity, it doesn't come without a cost. For Cyberbolt, that meant his entire channel. And a thin veil of plausible deniability makes any case like this almost impossible to solve. Was it a disgruntled employee attempting to silence criticism? Or an outside observer with an invested interest in his downfall? Whatever the answer, at least I know one thing for certain. Phantasy Star Online 2 New Genesis is absolutely, beyond a shadow of a doubt, a disaster. thank you all for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more content. Look at you guys. Look at that guy right there that just flew by. I like that guy. Thank you. Honestly, it really means a lot to me. If you guys want to support the channel, keep sending in anonymous tips like this, and maybe consider supporting the Patreon. I don't know, throw me $1. Thanks to you guys, I actually have a backlog of things to look into that I'm very excited for, so look forward to it. My parting piece of wisdom for this video: get out your goon cave and do 20 push-ups. And as always, until next time. Like, all the achievements on Steam are either some anime bitch's midriff or just straight up tits. Oh, this is fucking boring.